The Promotion. Episode 3, The Interview. Anna stood in the lift, watching the numbers light up slowly. She had submitted her application over the weekend, short, clear, careful, just like her. James had sent his within an hour of the announcement. Leo called it classic James energy. The doors opened. The office buzzed with the low energy of people trying to act normal when something big is happening. James was already at his desk, chatting with someone from marketing. He looked over and smiled, that easy, casual smile that made everything feel lighter than it was.
Hey,
He said, walking over with his coffee.
I think they're starting interviews today. I'm up at 11.
Anna nodded.
Good luck.
You too.
He said. Then after a beat,
Whatever happens, I've got your back. You don't need to worry.
she smiled, polite. But something about the way he said it landed differently today. Later that day in the staff kitchen, Leo leaned against the counter, stirring his tea slowly. Anna joined him, feeling the quiet moment like a small relief.
Had your interview yet?
This afternoon.
Leo gave her a look, not pushy, just curious.
Ready?
I think so. I mean, I've done interviews before, but this one feels personal.
Well, that's because it is. But remember, this isn't about proving anything to James or anyone else.
He told me he has my back. I know he meant it nicely, but
But it made you feel small, right?
She looked up, surprised.
I've worked with people like that. They mean well, but sometimes they don't see what they're really doing.
Later that day, Anna sat across from Miss Carter, her hands folded neatly on her lap. The room was plain, quiet. A glass of water, a closed laptop. Mrs. Carter smiled, kind but unreadable.
So, Anna, thank you for applying. I've read your proposal. Thoughtful, very clear.
thank you.
Let's start with something simple. What do you think makes a good team lead?
I think good leadership often means good listening. It's not just about talking or giving orders. It's about understanding people, especially in a team like ours where we have different languages, different ways of communicating. A good team lead should be able to adapt to help others feel heard and understood.
Can you give me an example of when you've done that?
Yes. Last year during the Greenlight project, we had a delay with a supplier. The client was frustrated, communication had broken down. The project lead emailed them twice, but both messages were quite formal and technical. It actually made things worse.
And you stepped in?
Yes. I called the client directly. I listened first, let them explain. Then I repeated back what I understood to show I got it. I used simpler language, gave them a new timeline, and told them we'd keep checking in. By the end of the call, we were aligned again.
That's exactly the kind of clarity we need.
Thank you.
As she left the interview, she smiled to herself. She thought it had gone well. Later in the afternoon, James caught up with her by the printer.
How'd it go?
I think it went well.
Great. I'm sure it did. I told them how well we work together. I think it helped them see how valuable you are.
Thanks.
She said, automatically. But her chest felt tight again. She walked back to her desk slowly, sat down, opened her inbox, closed it again. Later that evening, in the park with Leo, they sat on a bench watching a dog chase a stick with wild joy. The light was soft. An early spring evening.
So?
Leo asked.
I don't know. I think I did well. Miss Carter listened. I didn't hide.
Good.
She was quiet for a moment.
James said something strange. He said he told them I was valuable, like his approval was part of the deal.
Leo didn't answer right away. Then he said,
Sometimes people think they're helping when they're just centering themselves.
Anna nodded.
I used to think I needed someone like him beside me to speak up, fill in the gaps. But it's really not true. I can hold my own ground.
You didn't need him to speak for you. You never did.
She didn't reply, but she smiled, quiet and certain. The next morning at her desk, Anna opened her inbox again. No news. But something felt different. She clicked open a new document, titled it Ideas for the Team. She wasn't waiting anymore. She didn't know what would happen next. But for whatever it would be, she was ready for it.